Veterans are supposed to be blessed in all their undertakings for all the services that they have served the United States of America. And Veterans Day is a day that everyone can look back on years and years ago, and some of them in the near future here. It's already come back here. But there's a memory in that will never be forgotten. I don't care how long you live, you'll never forget that memory. Like my Army seal number, 3472093. I'll know that the day I'm leaving this place. And I've enjoyed my life as working as an automobile mechanic, 63 long years. And I tried to help everybody in the world. And then all of a sudden, being an old World War II war vet, here comes these blessed church people, and they put me in a home. Something's worthwhile. I got something out of this life, right?
Yes.
And I can't tell them how much I appreciate that. Of course, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. No war veteran knows that. He don't know how long he's going to be here. There's one thing about it. He's going to know he stood up for his country. And everything he did it from his heart. He didn't do it. Every veteran done something from his heart. And his heart was in it, and his life didn't mean anything to him. The only thing meant something was this blessed United States of America. I don't care too much about going back in them days, this day and time, because in my life now, I don't harm anyone. And then there, you under an order, you have to. And a lot of time, I was in Frankfurt, Germany, laying on top of a mountain with some little lady that me and her talking about United States of America and how blessed we were. And some of the boys come up and said, we're going to have cave rations tonight for supper. And I looked over on the hill about a quarter of a mile away, and there stood a deer. About that long. I said, boys, I'll kill it, you go get it. They said, you can't do that. BL or Brandon automatic rifle. I laid the bead down on him, set the sight to the crack of that gun, nothing happened. They said, you missed him. I said, what's you doing? It fell over. We eat deer that night. We didn't have cake. Yeah, I had rifle badge, folks paid me $10 a day for every day I wore it, carried it, had it. Blue with a rifle in it. It was in them medals. And you know, I never did get a penny out of it. I never did get a penny out of it.
You told me about the day that you saw George Patton.
Oh yeah, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, jumped in the Rhine River, so let's go, boys. I don't want to try that no more. Have to come out a mile down the river. That's the swiftest river I ever seen.
Now he was standing right close to you, wasn't he? I mean, he led his troops into Germany.
Right beside us. He said, let's go, boys, and jump right in that river. I'm telling you, that man didn't care for nothing. He was gone.
How deep was it?
Huh?
How deep was that?
I don't know. I never did find nobody. Backpack, bandoliers, rifle, and hand grenades, and everything, and boots, combat boots, clothes, and everything. Let's go. Just chew on that in a minute. Here we go.
Did you have a rope or something to pull you?
Oh, no, it wasn't nothing to hold you. Let's go, boys.
Huh.
That man was a go-getter. Patton was a go-getter. We went over on the Queen Elizabeth and come back on the Queen Mary. Queen Elizabeth. And got on that thing, and we've got about, I guess, well, probably the first night out. We was in the hammock, we was resting, and that ship just laid plumb down like that and come around, and everybody fell out of the bed. I was about 4 inches under the water.
Did you get seasick?
No, sick. I got so sick I couldn't find Morristown for been on there. I'm telling you, and they had some of the greasiest food. Oh, I get to look at that and just start heading for the rail. But I got over it. A captain come by. I don't know who he was. Never did know him. He come by and give me 2 or 3 little old white peas. He said, "Here, soldier, take you one of these." I swallowed one of them. The sickness left in about 5 minutes. He'd gone. I went out there and started rolling dice on the deck, playing. Well, we shot dice about 4 days and nights. They said it was a torpedo, that they turned that ship up like that, laid the top of it over in the water to get that torpedo to go by.
Wow.
That's how close we come to going to the bottom of the ocean. Well, they twist the, what you call it, all you do is just roll that thing and cut it. That cutter will turn that thing, see? That cutter rolled it around.
Huh.
And it turned that ship up on the side. And top deck, I know, was in the water, because it laid down so flat, just like that. We just fell out of the bed. There one of the hammocks, and I had the hammocks tied up between everything. And when they got it straightened back up, everybody got back in the bed. And the sentry come through, and he said, "We just missed the torpedo." And I said, "Well, I'm glad it missed, because I was down here where he was at."
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are down below the sea level probably, weren't you?
Oh, it was way below, about 3 or 4 decks underwater. Yeah, that's big ship. Yeah, they took us over, 18 of us. And we went walking, when they've taken me in. And there's a little old shed way out on the farm-like place. And they walked in there down that farm, and Ballinger said, "Is that all I get?" "No," he said, "I'm going to let you have Dean and William G. Smith and another boy, Ed Dramatics." Well, he said, "Dean's a bazooka man." He said, "That's what you need more than anything." And Ballinger said the bazooka's sitting over at the corner, and said they killed the one that's carrying it yesterday. I want you to know that. I looked at him like that. I said, "Well, I don't mean nothing." And I told him, "I don't mean nothing." He said, "That's a fighting spirit. I like that." He was a good one. It was a tank up on the hill in Steinsdorf, Germany. And we had been pinned down for 4 or 5 days and nights in a foxhole. We couldn't get in town. And the bullets were so thick that you couldn't get up out of the hole. We in there with nothing to eat, no water. We stayed in there almost a week. And they was a lieutenant. When the tank division come up, they had these tiger rolls dug in a hole in the ground with the barrel laying level on the ground. They pulled it off in there. It was level on the ground, and they was just shelling everywhere, all over everybody. Well, we couldn't get out, and we couldn't get nothing. And Sergeant Ballinger hollered out and said, "Everybody stay in the foxhole." Said, "They can't hurt us in the foxhole." So we's in there, and their lieutenant, they called him a shave tail. He told one of them boys, he said, "Let me borrow your tank." And he'd over this little ridge, and he would come down and hit the tank, come down the barrel. He would fire, and he busted 7 or 8 of them gun barrels on them tanks. And they dragged one out and run one in. dragged one out and run one in. Both rifle fire was so much it's just like just raining bullets. But he's busted every one of them and got us out of there. And I'd like to shook his hand because I was getting hungry. I would. I'd love to shook his hand. We got in the town. When we got in town, rifle fire off on the street between the alley was so much it looked like bees coming through the bullets. Wow. And when they would lit up, it would shoot, and then they'd lit up, and when they lit up, we'd dart across the street. Well, we got in this building. Up on the hill, there was a road coming around like that, go come down. And so Bouncer told me, he said, you get up there, go upstairs and get up there at upper roof, and said, watch that man. I had a bazooka that day. And a man was loading for me, was back here behind me with them bazooka shells where he was at for war rounds, you know. And I was up there, and that tank got on the hill up there, and he was shooting in the town. And he shot that side of the building off. He just cleaned the side of the building. That's it, go get the wall. And I told him, I said, load that bazooka. I'm going to stop that tank. I got to stop here. And I turned around, and he was riding the staircase going down while it was falling. But he left the shell. I crawled over on my stomach and got me one left around that bazooka pin, rolled over on my belly, laid that thing up, touched off my shoulder like that, knocked the track off in that thing. I got that bronze star for knocking the track off. I knocked the track off of it. Well, when the gun was out of order, it dropped it down, say, and it couldn't come far on the building. Now, I was up 2 stories up. I had to fall down to jump down to about 12, 15, maybe 20 feet, I don't know. But I come out of there, got down, and that's how I got that medal. And directly somebody come through there in an old truck-like thing and threw the taser masher in that hallway. And everybody run to the back side of the house, and it blowed up, blowed all the doors and the building out. But we didn't lose no men in it. We never lost nobody. But they got away and quick. When that taser masher hit the floor and started scooting across there, everybody flew like chickens. And I guess it wasn't too bad. It's just kind of a rough way of life. And I loved the boys, and I loved my leaders, and I cared a lot for them, and we protected them. And we was going through some part of Germany. I can't remember exactly what part it was, but anyhow, we captured a German officer. He come walking in with his hands over his head. Sergeant Frank just standing over the side of me, said, we need him. Said, we want him bad. And he come walking over to that, and I had Thompson submachine gun. And he come walking over to it, and he hauled off, and he hit Sergeant Farrington right on the side of his head with his fist, knocked him in a foxhole, and I jerked the bolt on that machine gun like that. Said, don't kill him, I want him. Don't kill him, I want him.
Why did the German hit him?
I don't know. They was cruel. He was SS Storm.
That's no way to surrender, to hit your captor.
He was an SS Stormtrooper officer.
Huh.
And he's one of them valuable kind. And I started up the hill with Ballinger. He was down behind us, him and the rest of the boys down there. And Farrington was way down below that, somewhere down there, and him and his boys. And there's an old brick house right there, and a row of pine trees. Looked like pine. And I got about up, I guess I got here at that cedar to them pine trees. And I looked, and there's a machine gun in the upper window upstairs, shooting right down on me. And it kept shooting and shooting, and dirt around me just began to jump up everywhere. That voice said to me, said, play dead. I stopped the gun, fellas, like they quit. Tank pulled up on top of me. I straddled him. One of our boys. he started shooting that building down. He shot that building to the ground. And I laid there for 3.5 hours, and the only thing would move was that. I could do that, and everything else wouldn't move. My arms wouldn't move, my legs wouldn't move, nothing would move. And Ballinger said, the medic said, "Dean's dead." Said, "You better try to get him out of there." I said, "Don't you come up here. I ain't dead, but I can't move." I had laid so long that I had went to sleep all over. See, I was lifeless. I had to be because he was watching me. And so I had laid there so long that my whole body went to sleep. And only way I could wake up was move my neck. And I could move my neck. Till it got up top of my head, I would never got up. You know what I mean? I would never got up. But anyhow, it didn't get there. That tank come in and saved that. And I got to moving around. I got to moving my neck back and forth like that, and it moved, and directly my arms got where they would move, and then my body got where it could move, my legs got where it could move. And I rolled off down the bank into the photo where Ballinger was at.
So you got shot in the ear, or one whiz?
Shot right through you on top of the ear there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right there. Big open spot right there. No, I didn't get the Purple Heart. I earned it, but I didn't get it. I lost 2 battle stars. They didn't give them to me. I don't know why, but I went in there at Siegfried Line down by Holland. I went down through there and went through where the Belgian Bulls was going on, part of that going on. We was going on in. And by Czechoslovakia, down through, between Holland and Czechoslovakia, them dragon teeth. We went down that line, walked through there, went on in there and followed the way through to get down on into the biggest part of Germany. Walked across every nation over, I reckon. I walked through snow up to my knees, I walked through snow up to my neck, and the bulls is up to your neck. You put on a white uniform, and you wore that white uniform through the snow to keep planes from striking you. They would strike you to kill you, to roll, you know, and was going to it. And it's just a rough thing. Everything I went through was rough. Stuart K. Ballinger.
Did he make it all the way through the end?
I reckon he did. He come back, I reckon, as far as I know.
Yeah.
He was on the ship.
Yeah.
I reckon he got back till he can get drowned. Yeah, he's Chattanooga. Somewhere down there. I think that's where he lived, in Chattanooga. I'm not sure, but I believe that's right.
So he was a good leader then, I think.
Oh, he's one of the best, honey. I'd like to talk to him today, but you know how it is.
Did you see any of those guys after you got back home?
No, I haven't met none of them. We just went over just away, and I shook hands with a few of them over in Tank Hill over in South Carolina. And I had never seen none of them no more. I got discharged over there, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And that's where they threw me out at in 1945.
Yeah.
I come out in 46. And I come home, a ball of fire burst in my face. I sat down or lay down, and just all this big fire ever was right in my face. And I'd jump up and run. Maybe I'd run sometime half a mile before it would leave. And Dr. Cole Roundtree, he's down at Rutledge. He'd come up there at the house, took out 5 little bottles about that high out of his briefcase. He took a drop out of every one of them. He shut it and let on like that. I never had another ball of fire. I never had another problem. I could stand watch the head I won't bother me.
Was it a dream, you think?
Huh?
Was it a dream? The
No,
ball of fire?
It was real. It was battle fatigue.
Uh-huh.
That's what I had. I couldn't get over it. And he broke it. Called around till he broke it. And that was good of him. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Didn't cost me a penny. Just come and done it for him. He was an Army doctor. And he'd come up there and give me that little shot. And there's 5 drops. Drop out of every bottle. Yeah. And it lasted 70 years now, 65, 70. And it's still just as good right now as when he gave it to me.
There you go.
Don't bother me a bit. But I had my wife, I worried her a lot running like that. And I couldn't help it though. It's just a big ball of fire bust right in my face. So many white phosphorus shells and things, you know, busting, flaring up, this big white red flames all in front of me and around me and close to me and everything else. It hit my eyes. I'm 85% blind. And it got my eyes. And it's just a rough thing, and I wouldn't want to go through it again.
Yeah.
And I hope nobody else don't have to either. Yeah. Goes up in depression and fought World War II. Yeah. I stayed up there on Germany 2 years, 9 months, and 27 days. That's 7 months and 13 days on the front line. Never did get off. No rest. We stopped over in Germany, and I killed that deer. We'd been out for about 4 hours, I think it was, 4 or 5 hours. And then that died. And that's the only break we got. What time was that? No more breaks. Every which way you went, there's a sniper tried to get you. They shot Maddox right beside of me in an old shed way over in the field. And Maddox was walking down there. He had a BAR Browning automatic rifle. And they shot him down right beside of me. He fell down plowed field like that. Anybody that ain't never went through with it, children, don't know what it is. But to me, I'll make a dream out of it. To me, I'll make it a dream, and as though it never happened. I have to keep on living, going on. Because if you hold and ponder things like that, well, you wind up with worries and heartaches that you don't need, seeing your friend that you care for and think a lot of drop beside them and stuff like that.
How much of a blessing has this house been to you since you've been?
Well, there's no words I can put in to explain that. I couldn't find enough if I went on for another 30 years. There'd be no way to tell you what it means. Because when I walk in, I can feel the love that it was built with. And it's still in the house. It stays here. And it's so comfortable that it's equal to a mansion. It's equal to a mansion. And to me, no greater gift had been given except salvation, if I didn't have salvation. Well, I got that gift. And this is the next to it.
Yeah.
A place to live, a place to stay, call home. Of course, I've got to grieve this now. I've got to get the money up somewhere or another. And goes this down. I've got to have that cut down. All that's got to be cut out, level with this house. And when I get that up, get that done, I'll just spend what days I got here kicking my heels way up high, you know. I appreciate the blessings that people have bestowed upon me, because I couldn't have got them without the Lord caring.
Yeah.
And He did care.
Yeah.
He's always watched over me ever since I was a little baby. He's never let me down. And He wanted me for a purpose, and I'm proud He did. And I'm going to try to get it fulfilled before I leave.
Yeah.
If I can. Of course, I'll probably never be able to, but I'll try.